Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Tracy Liv, co-founder of Liv.Lit with my husband, Christopher. And I wanted to share basically my journey because most people don't know it unless you've known me from when I was younger. You kind of just see me now, and a lot of people are trying to connect the dots, like, how did I get here? And one of my clients actually asked me, have I always been successful in everything that I've done? And I thought, no. I've had so many personal struggles, so many challenges in my life, so many like, holy shit, if I didn't make that one decision, my entire life would be different. Does anyone know what I mean? I mean, moments that, have been completely a defining moment for me. And I wanted to share a couple with you. And maybe you have some parallels in your own life. But essentially, like, growing up, it was hard. My mom and my dad, and then it was my two sisters. So it was 5 of us in a 3-bedroom house with 1 bathroom. Okay. My poor dad, there were 4 women in the house. Even our dog was a girl, and like, it was tight. Financially, it was like we never had money. Like, we were on welfare on and off, which is social services. I had free and reduced lunches in high school. Even I had vouchers to apply for college for free. So we qualified for all that. And because of that, I have had a job since I was 12 years old. So when I was 12, I would walk around the neighborhood and knock on doors and ask if anyone needed a babysitter. Like, talk about being an entrepreneur, like, really young. And I babysat, and basically through high school, I went to school, I played sports, and I worked the whole way. My parents got divorced when I was 17, and it was really effing shitty. We had moved out of my childhood home that I had been growing up with my whole life. A year later, I went to college, and I'm the first in my family to graduate from college. So I had no clue what I was doing. The second that I arrived, I didn't know college. I didn't have any guidance, and money was tight. I remember being just so angry all the time. And I developed an eating disorder as a result of like this anger, feeling out of control, just sorrow. I remember crying on the floor, just being so, I didn't know what to do with myself. And it transpired into an eating disorder. And I think people develop all kinds of things from these situations, but that was my kind of lesson. And 2 major things happened when I was in college that totally have defined my life. The first one was my political philosophy teacher, Dr. Barkalow, one of my favorite professors of all time now. I got a C on a paper. I was 19. And he pulled me aside to his office and he said, "Hey, Tracy, I'm not going to talk about the C. Like, we're going to put that down. What's up? I know you're smart. I know you're way better than this. Like, what are you doing?" And I can still see his office. Like, I remember sitting there, like, embarrassed and shocked. Like, no one's ever called out my potential. No one ever, like, I usually skirt through behind the scenes, and I don't know if some people feel that way. And I just thought, oh man, okay. And that was huge. And then the other thing, probably like the next day, probably, because that's how the universe works, right? My boyfriend at the time had developed lymphoma, which is cancer of the lymph nodes. He's fine. We're actually still really good friends. But he ended up going to a Reiki healer to support him in the healing process along with chemotherapy in Boston. And I remember going with him to this healer's house. I didn't know anything about Reiki or nutritional healing and da-da-da. And I went to her house, and she lived in this like McMansion, which in America is like a mini mansion. It's a gorgeous house. And I remember doing a session with her, and Rose, and she said, Trace, I can heal people. I have great, she's an amazing energy worker, nutritional healing, shaman. Like, she was the resource of everything. And she said, but if you walk out this door and you go and binge and you go and drink too much, and then you starve yourself, and then you talk to yourself in a bad way, I can't heal you. You're going to heal yourself. Do you want to? And she just like went, shoo, gave me all my power back. I was 19. I was like, whoa, all right, I have to do this. And she's like, but I'll help you. And that's what Dr. Barkley said, but I'll help you. And I had these like two really important people that helped me overcome the eating disorder. I started to get straight A's in school. And if I fast forward, I moved to Washington, D.C. I took a safe job in like an admin assistant in a company, climbed my way up the corporate ladder, got my master's degree in public policy, because that's what you should do. I followed the book. Like, I climbed, and I thought that that's my life would look like. And it was to kind of counteract how much financial scarcity in my childhood. But when I traveled to London for fun, I had another milestone moment, which was meeting this cute guy in a pub in London. I met him here at the Prince Regent pub in Marylebone on my first day arriving. And we ended up doing 15 months of long distance relationship before I ended up moving permanently to London. And it was crazy because when I was thinking about moving to London, I knew my heart was in it. Like, my heart was saying, go to London. This is the right thing to do. But everything pointed to me like, this makes no sense. I wouldn't be legally allowed to work in London. I would have to sell my studio apartment that I had bought in DC. I'd have to resign from my job. I'd have to leave my family and friends. Like, what the F, really? I was like at the universe. I said, honestly, I would sit on the floor with a glass of wine and write all of my fears about like what terrible things could happen if I like left my entire life. Well, apparently I had to completely burn down my life. I made the leap to move to London. Christopher had my back. Like, I was really scared financially because this was like a nightmare for me. It was all cushy in DC. Like, now I have to start from scratch. And he had my back. Like, we moved in, he took care of things. And then I actually had the space to imagine, what do I really want to do with my life? And like slowly but surely, I started freelancing. I met an Empower World, which is a coaching and leadership company in the Middle East. And I started working for them from London. And they said, you seem kind of interested in this coaching thing and personal development and self-mastery and inner growth thing. Why don't you come to the Middle East and we'll give you the training, the ICF training. And so I just went for it. I didn't plan on starting a business. I just this is my theme. I started just following the signs without always a clear understanding of what the outcome was going to be. So yeah, we founded Tracy Liv, Christopher and I, and we had built and grow a 6-figure business in the first year, which in the coaching industry is like pretty much unheard of. And we just, I started following my purpose. I started going through the challenges and the struggles, but seeing them as opportunities. And I think that, all of the work that I had done, and I've been doing inner work now for 15 years, since I was 19 years old. I have now have the best life freaking ever. I'm married. I'm happy. I've got an incredibly successful business. I've got a 1-year-old son, another baby on the way as of this video. And, yeah, I just feel so happy and inner fulfilled. I mean, I've made it to a point in my life that I never thought I would ever be from where I started. And I want to just refer back to Dr. Barklow and Rose that, they're people who wanted the best of me. They didn't tell me what to do, but they gave me the power to start to transform my own life. And Christopher, my husband, always wanted me to soar. He always knew I had potential. He put money into me to say don't worry about this stuff. Just go for it. He didn't do, I think so many relationships we want people to stay the same, but Christopher's always wanted me to just get as big as possible. And I want you all to think about finding people in your life. I call them my dream team. Find people that don't have restrictions for you, that want you, call out the best in you, challenge you, want you to grow, and then do the inner work, the self-mastery. This is what I do in Liv.Lit. When I work one-to-one with people, or I do groups, I do trainings, it's about helping people to realize their highest potential through doing the inner work and self-mastery first. Outer success will always, always, always follow it. So Let me know what you think about my story. I love y'all. Thank you so much for everything, and I hope this inspired you. See you soon.